I wanna express my views over merely one topic, which named very firstly that topic that is pretty fascinating one, and that topic that named you can win if you aspire, if you desire, or if you wish, or you put the hard work, or you put the efforts into your work. That's the fact. If you would try to put hard work, if you would try to put efforts into the work, so then you know what, one day you would stand to enable to accomplish your goals, your desires, your wishes. That's the fact. Very firstly, you know what, there is a massive difference between wishes and between according to me between accomplishing the goals. You know what, I know well versed that wishes are only wishes. The meaning of wishes, or the meaning of wish, the meaning of wishes are, or the meaning of wish is to just only desire something. Okay, it's not related to hard work. On the contrary, accomplishing goals, it meant that doing something for accomplishing the goals, like catching up on the hard work. That's the reality. And furthermore, as a matter of fact, according to me, if you desire or if you aspire to accomplish a goal, so according to me, you can win, you can easily accomplish the goals with the help of perseverance, with the help of discipline, with the help of teamwork, team spirit, brotherhood, and hard work as well. These qualities are mandatory for flourishing or prospering in life. That's the reality. And in addition to, you know what, some people, they just feel like that they would be unable to win. Even before getting into the battle, they just feel like that they would be unable to win. And even already at the earliest, they try to yield before the battle, or they try the level best to just go far from the battle, and even they try the level best to brush aside the thought of participating in the battle. Very firstly, here the battle that isn't war, but here the battle that means job, your task, your work, your battle for getting the job by working hard and competing others, as there is a big competition for getting the job. That's the reality. So you are quite grudgingly, forcibly, and reluctantly requiring to compete with others. There are sizable and numerous competitors. You are requiring to compete them. So it's kind of like a battle for you, really. It's kind of like a battle for you to get the job, really. But I'm not saying this that you should try to defeat others by murdering them or cutting off them. I'm saying this, you can decide to defeat them by fetching good marks in the competitive examinations as compared to their marks. Okay, and in addition to, you know what, many a time I know well versed that we people cope with the challenges or face challenges. Even I know well versed that we people face challenges every day, every second, every minute. And even we commit mistakes as well. I know well versed that we commit blunders, mistakes, or errors every day, even every hour as well. Some people, they commit errors every hour. But it doesn't mean that you are failure. It doesn't mean that you should try to give up. It doesn't mean that you should brush aside the thought of fighting boldly. Okay, according to me, if you are committing blunders, if you are committing errors and mistakes, so it means that you are learning something through your own errors. You are learning something through your mistakes. It meant that you are becoming more good and better as compared to earlier before due to committing errors. Errors are good, mistakes are good. We should try our level best to avoid doing mistakes. But if we are committing mistakes, then we should feel proud of ourselves. As we human beings, we try to do mistakes. Unfortunately, accidentally, incidentally as well. You know what, as a matter of fact, it's kind of like a habit of the people to commit blunders. And in addition to, unfortunately, you know what, we commit errors, but it doesn't mean that we are of not a good level. Okay, and in addition to, always we learn something from our mistakes, and so we should try our level best to learn a good lesson from our mistakes. And even simultaneously, we should try to promise ourselves, to vow ourselves that we would not try to commit the same error later on in the future or in the future years. Okay, if you have done one error one day, then you should try to learn a lesson from that one. Then you should try to vow yourself or to promise yourself for not committing or doing that one later on. Okay, for instance, if today I have, for instance, if today I have taken one of the examinations and in which I got low marks. Okay, in which today I have got low marks, like 20 marks out of 100. It meant that I have failed the examination. Okay, and in addition to, you know what, hereby I'm learning a lesson, which is that working hard on academics so as to get good marks in the examination. Okay, and even due to this lesson, today I have got to know the reality about the education and even about the significance of education. And today I've got to know that how much should I read so as to pass the examination with the flying colors. And it's kind of like a lesson, and with the help of this lesson, you know what, as a matter of fact, I would vow myself, I would promise to myself that not to commit this error in future time, so as to uplift my level, and in addition to, so as to become a great woman in my life. Great woman in one sense, you know what, great woman, it meant that you are learning from your errors, and thereby you are learning how to cope with the errors, and even you are learning how to avoid the errors, and even you are learning about how to completely avoid the errors in the future time as well. Okay, and thereby you are becoming the experienced one. That's the reality. And in addition to, today my topic, that is, you can win. What you can win? You can win what you desire, what you wish, what you aspire, what you wanna accomplish, what you wanna achieve. Okay, it doesn't matter about your goal, your target, whether your target be small or high one or little or quite high one. It doesn't matter at all. Your target that can be small one. मुझे भी इंग्लिश बोलना सीखना है जी. Oh, okay. Very firstly, if you wanna learn English, then whatever I would like to say, you have to copy that one. Okay, you have to pursue that one or chase that one. You have to obey me. Okay, you have to obey me for learning English. Okay, so the very first situation is that if you really want to learn English, so how you can learn English? You can learn English by devoting your time to English. How can you devote your time to learn English? You can practice learning English by speaking English. If you want to learn English, then for learning English, you have to speak English. Without speaking, you can't learn English. That's the reality. I know that initially you would feel like hesitating, nervous, or shy. still you can learn English. How? Very firstly, one day, very first day, initially, you should try to speak English on the topic which named vegetables or fruits. Okay, you should try to speak English on these two topics or a couple of topics at least for 2 minutes. Okay, and after one day you should try to speak English on another topic for 2 minutes, another topic like colors, and the very third day you should try to speak English for 2 minutes as well. Then gradually you can increase the time. Okay, from 2 you can increase the time up to 5, then up to 12, then up to 13 minutes, then up to 15 minutes, and then one day you should try to speak English for half an hour, then for 1 hour, even then for a couple of hours. Okay, and even for learning English you need to read English books. Firstly, you should try to read the English books of nursery class or grade nursery. Then you can increase your level from nursery to LKG, then UKG, then first, then second. That's what I did. When I was in 12th grade, the last year I was in 12th grade, so I used to read the nursery books, then LKG, then UKG, and so on. Okay, and even I was in 12th grade, so I wasn't feeling ashamed. I wasn't feeling imbroglio or embarrassed of reading the books of nursery class. I used to just read English books of nursery class so as to learn English. I was firm in my resolve. I was completely bent on my resolve of learning English somehow. It meant by hook or by crook or at any cost, really. I just wanted to do that one. And in addition to, I wasn't having any alternative left. I had to do that somehow. Okay, and even I wasn't having any mentor, any tutor, any teacher. So how I dealt with that scenario, circumstance or situation or case. Very firstly, initially I tried my level best to just explore teachers over there in my area, in Jhansi, in around Gadiagaon. I live in Gadiagaon. And so I just wanted to explore teachers, but in vain I wasn't able to explore teachers. And then I used to listen to the English podcasters on YouTube. Even I used to listen to the English videos, but in vain. But to no avail, but cut it no wise. And then eventually I further decided that firstly, to just read English books, simultaneously speak English on the regular basis. Even I knew that I was speaking the wrong English. Even I was using the wrong grammatical senses. I knew, as I wasn't aware of grammar. And so how I did that, let me relate that one. I used to just speak the wrong English for some time, and then I used to discover the errors, and through errors I learned a lesson, and I used to vow myself that not to commit the same errors later on. Okay, and in addition to, I know one more thing, which is that even according to me, the reality is that grammar, that isn't mandatory, that isn't compulsory for learning any language. Okay, and even I know nothing regarding grammar, English grammar, but I can speak English. Even I can discover my errors, my mistakes while speaking English. Even I learned Hindi, which is my mother language, mother tongue. How I learned Hindi? By listening to others. I don't know about grammar right away. I know about grammar, but earlier when I was an infant, so I didn't know about grammar, but I learned grammar. Nope, but I learned Hindi, not grammar. I committed error. Okay, are you present? If you are present, so you should try to say yes in the comment of the live streaming. As for me, according to me, here I can see that the follower that is 0, but the like that is 1. It can be due to technical error. According to me, he asked him the question and then he went. He felt afraid of me. It can be happen. No problem. Okay, so what I was saying. Uh, what I was saying regarding. According to me, I was saying about you can win. Okay, one day I felt like this that I would be able to speak English, I would be able to learn English. Then I used to weep bitterly, I used to sob inconsolably. And then somehow one determination occurred in my heart, even in my mind as well. Then I used to work hard on English. I used to work hard on English phrases, English idioms, and then I learned really. And furthermore, I know that I know well versed that it was pretty difficult one, Herculean one, arduous, gigantic, and even it was itself my IELTS. It was Herculean one for me to learn English. Okay, it was Herculean, arduous, and gigantic for me to learn English, and it was completely impractical one. Completely impractical, not completely, but partially impractical, partially unrealistic, not completely. Okay, and in addition to, I know that somehow I used to muster up enough courage for learning English, and I learned English by speaking, merely by speaking and reading books. I didn't try to listen to anything. Quite earlier, initially I tried, but in vain. And even quite earlier, when I knew nothing regarding was and were, so I used to put down my views on the pieces of paper. I used to put down essays on the regular basis, so I used to learn English. And when I was in grade 10th, so I didn't know about was and were. I didn't know the difference between that, and even I didn't know the usage of was as well as were. And it meant that 3 years ago, I didn't know the usage of was and were. So then what I did, I used to just put down the essays. Thereby I used to enhance my writing skills, and thereby I learned English by writing. Then I used to listen to English podcasters, then I left that one. And so it meant that I enhanced up to a great extent my listening skills. Then reading and speaking. Quite lately I used to focus on these two skills. Okay, reading and speaking. Let me quench my thirst. And even it's been a prolonged period of time for I have been speaking English. I know that in 2022, from January up to December, I used to speak English, and even now I have been speaking English without delaying a day, even without skipping a day as well. And I know this that before 2022, I used to speak English. Before 2022, it meant that some months before of 2022, I used to speak English. And so what it meant that over 1 year I have been speaking English. And even in the year 2023, from 1 January up to this date, today is 14th April 2023, up to 14th April 2023, I have been speaking English. Even tomorrow as well, I would try to speak English. And I would be speaking English up to over 50 years, really. And I'm considering this year as the first year, as this is my very first year on YouTube. Okay, and I would just try to work on this channel for years, and I would try to protect my YouTube channel from the cyber hackers. I don't want let my channel go under the custody of the cyber hackers. Okay, Let me quench my thirst. Even why that guy went. Some people, they feel afraid of me. That's the reality. Okay, and in addition to, the fact is that whenever I just feel like speaking a lot, and so people, they just feel like going quite far from me. Why? I don't know regarding this. I got unaware. And even mostly in the interview time, every time in the interview, even every single attempt of the interview, the interviewers, they ask two things, a couple of things from their candidates. The very first one is their strength, second one is about their weakness. And I know about my weakness. My weakness, that is, I just feel like touchy. I feel like hypersensitive. Even I feel like furious and depressed if anyone tries to abuse me or even revile me or even judge me on account of my complexion, my height, or gender, etc. Okay, even my level as well. If someone tries to judge my level of academics, my study level, my level of speaking something, okay, that's the reality. And so this is my weakness. Okay, I can't bear with those people who say something against my complexion, my height, my gender, my education qualification, and so on. This is my weakness. Okay, I just feel like fighting boldly against those sorts of people. On the contrary, my strength, that is speaking English. Okay, it's my strength. How I got to know about this, as whenever I speak English, people, they try to go far away from my live streaming. So hereby I got to know that English is my strength. Even I can speak English on any topic. You can give me any topic, and randomly you can give me any topic at any time. Even in the midst of my live streaming, you can give me any topic, and without any preparation I can speak English. How I can speak English? As in the olden days, I used to speak English rather badly. I used to speak English for half an hour. Really, I was fixed in my resolve to speak English up to half an hour, but not less than that. Even I used to measure the time as well. And moreover, I know one more thing related to this, which is that in the olden days, I used to take topics from my English language books. I have been having, or you can say that I have had a couple of English language books, and through which I used to learn English, and even I used to take the English language topics for speech or for speaking English. And furthermore, you know what? How I used to take topics? I used to take topics by just taking a glimpse of the topics. And in addition to, I know one more thing, which is that very firstly I used to read the English language topics. I used to read topics on the regular basis. Even I used to read the phrases, the idioms, and I used to learn each and everything regarding the phrases and idioms. And in addition to, I used to practice the vocabulary, whatever I used to learn on the regular basis. And even I know one more thing, which is that which is what which is that that let me disclose the names of the English language books. Very first one is ICSE, Art and Effective English Language Book, ICSE class 10th. Second one is ICSE, ISC. First one is ICSE, second one is ISC, Art and Effective Book class 12th. Okay, and one can buy these books online. ICSE, ISC, the book names they are same, Art and Effective English Language Books, and even the essays they are different. The number of essays are different, and even the inside content, that too is different. That too varies from one book to another one. That's the reality. And even I would try to just make one new video regarding how to learn English, and that video would be the shortest one. Okay, so goodbye, it's good enough, but before that let me quench my thirst.